So that's my long run ticked off and a successful training week. So that's week 1 of Abingdon Marathon training. So for the next 16 weeks I'm going to be uploading weekly the progress towards my marathon goal. And each week I'm going to bring you a theme and have a question of the week. So let's review how the first week has gone. And the question I'm going to be addressing in this first week is:
Dawn, what marathon plan are you following?
On the first day of my plan, I should have been doing 6 miles, but it was so hot and humid that I only ended up doing 3 miles. However, I spent the time filming a video on how I was avoiding burnout. So if you've not seen that video yet, please go and have a look. At the end of Tuesday's run, I did 6 hill strides. Now, I like to do hill strides after my run, and they are excellent for improving running economy. They're also good for increasing my leg turnover and helping me with speed. Another thing that hill strides do is they help blood flow, so that helps with the recovery. So the next day I'm ready to go again. So then we're on to Wednesday and a medium long run. Now this is a staple of my marathon training and one that I will be focusing on quite a lot as I build up into the next phase of training. So on this run I tend to run some of the miles quite easy, and then in the second half of the run I pick it up to progressive pace, ending at what I think is going to be, or hopefully be, my marathon pace. So through this training I've been fortunate enough to team up with a couple of coaches. So here you see Suzanne, who I've been training with for the last couple of weeks. She is a sub-3 marathon runner, and then we have John, who if he was to run a marathon would be at a similar pace to Suzanne. So they're helping to pull me along in the second half and keep me strong. It will make us stronger. On Thursday we stopped off on our way home from work and we ran around 2 beautiful reservoirs. What a way to end the day after a hard day at work. Yes, this was a multi-terrain loop and there was no focus on pace on this run, just a nice, comfortable, easy run, enjoying the beautiful scenery. So going off-road for us is pretty rare these days, but we were enjoying the nice trails here, the nice easy trails. There's nothing to actually be too technical over. It also provided us with a bit of extra elevation, which we don't normally get in many of our runs these days. And it made a nice change, and obviously it added a little bit of extra strength. Oh yeah, that was tough.
And we finished by running down this road, but you'll be amazed to know that for running along here 100 years ago, this bit of trail was actually a railway, of which more soon on our other channel, Paths to the Past.
On Friday we met up with Heather, one of our club coaches, to give some advice on doing drills and strides. These are important to do before any hard workout or race, and even doing a few of them before setting out to do any run.
So I follow something called the ramp principle, where we've seen Dawn and Heather raise their heart rate and body temperature with a 2-mile warm-up. We'll then do some activation exercises and mobility exercises. Great fun being had here, and yes, almost in sync. Very good. A skips and B skips are then attempted, which help potentiate the muscles ready for being stretched out in a fast running action. Then Dawn demonstrates fast feet, which are important again to potentiate the legs for moving very quickly. Then some leg swings to open up those hips so we can get a full range of body motion when running fast. Some high knees and A skips, again to make sure that when we're straining we don't pull anything. And then finally a couple of strides to get us ready for that session ahead.
Once we'd finished with Heather doing the drills and strides, we set out and I did a nice easy run before finishing with 4 100-metre strides myself. Strides are a great way to get some leg speed and good leg turnover at the end of an easy run, so it doesn't feel like a complete plod, and they're just great fun to do. I absolutely love strides and I recommend anybody doing strides. So Saturday we went to Mansfield Parkrun. This is a flat parkrun course, and there is a video out on that, so if you want to go and have a look at that, then do so. But yeah, today on my plan was for me to do a tempo stroke threshold session, so anywhere between half marathon and marathon pace, and I managed this at the parkrun. And I also had an unexpected first female finisher with the female 60 category win and the record for female 60. So yeah, a pleasing day out and hit all my goals. Sunday's long run day, and I did 16 miles today. I've kept my long runs going throughout the year because that's important to do, so there's no shock to the system when it comes to doing 16 because I've been around there anyhow, well 15, 14, 12s. On this long run you'll see John decided it was really fun to stick in a big long hill in the middle of it. My least favourite animal beside the path. But hills make us strong, or what is the saying? Hills pay the bills.
And I valiantly went to the top of the hill so I could film everybody coming in at the end of that particular long, gruelling segment of this run. Here's a second runner up the hill, 2:59 marathon runner.
Well done, Dawn. First at 60. Whoa, well done.
So tell the viewers all about your training plan. Maybe later in the video.
As I said earlier, the long run is a key component in anyone's training plan. If you do any kind of racing, you really should incorporate long runs. Now, I used to be called the queen of long runs, but more about that later. But in my training, I like to make sure my long run is 15 miles plus if I'm starting off doing a marathon plan, and I'll build that to 20 miles plus. Now, often I'll do 20 miles and then I might do a shorter run in the afternoon to make up the distance. This is because I like to try and get up to the full marathon distance in my long runs. Most of my long runs are done in the traditional sense, but I do actually do doubles on a Sunday sometimes, and I know that isn't always traditional for people doing marathons, but as I said, I like to sometimes cover the full distance, and I do that over 2 runs. Long runs are great for building mental strength.
It will make us stronger.
Suzanne has just pointed out it will make us stronger, and here I am doing that second 4 miles on the treadmill. That final run wrapped up the week with 60 miles. So the plan that I'm following is bespoke and is set by John, who is my coach, and it is done on a weekly basis. That takes into account any tiredness, yes, fatigue, any adaptations really that has to be made. Because it's a 16-week programme, I'm not doing any specific marathon-paced stuff in the first 4 weeks. That will become later in the plan. In the first 4 weeks, I'm concentrating on building up my base miles, getting that good base, which will consist mainly of runs in zone 1 and zone 2 with the odd tempo run. I'll also be keeping in some strides and hill sprints, which you've seen I've done this week, which will keep my top end speed.
So to ensure Dawn remembers to get those top end speed elements into her training, you can see we've colour coded it so she knows which days are the longer runs, which days you might call loosely a session like the parkrun, which days are top end speed, and the blue days being easy. But you'll note there are no non-running days.
In my plan, there are no non-running days. That is because it is based around me, my lifestyle, and the way I run, and the way I like to run, and the way I like to train. So obviously energy levels will be monitored very closely, but all I should need is a very slow, easy day if the energy is feeling a bit sapped. As the plan progresses, it will include more VO2 max and threshold work. And I'm hoping to peak the mileage around 70 to 75 miles per week. Given the paces I now run, that is actually a high volume for me. This is a great way to recover after a hot, sunny run. So I hope you've enjoyed me taking you through my first training week, and if you'd like to see how the rest of the training block unfolds and you haven't subscribed, then get doing so now. And give this video a like. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.